as conservation tillage. Now coming to the very main topic, that is designing of small structures. So first one is called as micro catchment. It is specifically a contoured area with slope and berms designed to increase the runoff and concentrate it in planting basin where infiltration is effectively stored in soil profile. I have a photo of this. I will show it in the coming slides. So first one is advantages. They are simple and economical to construct and can be built in any area, and it can be built very rapidly using just local material. Runoff water has low salt content. Transportation and pumping charges are also nil. So what is the size? So we are mainly designing it, right? So what is the size? They are typically small sculpted basin which harvest runoff in laminar flow with water depth less than 1 by 8th of the inches and flow velocity is less than 2.75 meter per second. It's not the inches, okay? So as you can see here, there will be rainfall and there will be runoff, and this runoff is mainly made to store over here above the plants. So there is a particular shape which is given over here for the conservation of water. So this is called as micro catchment. So it is specifically counted area in the slopes. So only in the areas of slopes this can be done, because the runoff will start collecting at the point and there is a rising of this slope, so that the water will stay over here itself. So first, site conditions. What are the things that we have to see before constructing of micro catchment? First thing is that various hydrological factors are taken into account. We have to take into account various hydrological factors. A detailed study of hydrological cycle for that particular area, which has information such as runoff production potential, how much runoff can be produced, soil surface condition, how much soil can retain the water, next water retention capacity, next gradient and evenness of slope. What is the evenness of this slope? Is it very straight or is it having any undulations? We have to see. So how do we construction? Cleaning the catchment area from weeds. Next, shaping them with hand tools and grader. Smoothing the surface. We have to have a smooth surface. Compaction of soil by tools. Compaction of soil. We have to do the compaction of the soil. So next one, form pond. So this form pond is also similar to that of earth basins. Okay, earth basins and form pond is almost same in the way of construction. So as you can see here, a large hole is dug out in the earth, usually in square or rectangle in shape, which harvest rainwater and store it for further use. The specification depends on farmers' requirements. They are used for fishing, irrigation, water supply, cattle rearing, etc. So as you can see here, a square or rectangular shaped pit is dug out and water is stored over here. Okay, the water is stored here. Next, types. Based on location and requirement, they are classified as dugout ponds, surface water ponds, spring or creek, off-stream storage. Dugout ponds is nothing but the ponds are dug out, and it is a very commonly known form pond. Second one, surface water ponds. These water ponds will mainly collect the surface water. Spring or creek, if there is any spring water which is coming through, that will be collected in this farm pond. Off stream storage, these are the water which is stored or which stores the off stream water. So coming to the selection of site, The pond must be located in the corner of plot so that its operation will not disturb the farming practices. It should be in any corner because the hole is very big and the farming operation may be disturbed because of this farm pond. So it has to be preferably made in any corner of the farming area. Next, must be located at least 3 meters away from farmer's field. A slope and a slope direction must be carefully evacuated. The slope should be done so that it will go into the farm pond itself, not anywhere else. Use machine for excavation and transportation best for a farm pond, with humans for leveling bund formation and bund construction. Okay, excavation should be done with the help of machineries because it will be more precise. So coming to the advantages, provide water for growing crops without waiting for rainfall. Bund can be raised with vegetables and fruit trees which can get more income. Checks soil erosion and minimizes siltation of waterways. Provide water for livestock and domestic purpose. It will recharge the groundwater. Promote fish farming and improve quality of drainage flow. Next, limitations. It reduces water flow to other lakes and ponds which are situated in low-lying areas. So if there is any low-lying areas, all the water which was supposed to go there, it will be collected in the farm pond itself. It will be difficult for the farmers who are there in the low-lying areas and they will not get the water. They occupy a large space. Saline and salt content on this particular area will increase. Okay, these are the limitations. Third one, percolation tanks. These are mostly earthen dams with many masonry structures only for spillway. So this is nothing but this is as same as that of dams, but only the spillways mainly concentrated over here. Spillway is nothing but the water which spills out. These are prevalent structures in India. Many of the states of India we can see this type of structures. These are artificially created surface water bodies merging its reservoir a highly permeable land to that of surface runoff and is made to percolate and recharge the groundwater. A bund is constructed so that the water is settled over there and that water is percolated inside the ground. Okay, construction, they should be constructed preferably from second to fourth order streams which are located on highly fractured and weathered rocks which have lateral continuity. So the water whichever is there, it should have more amount of weathered rocks and fractures. If there is more weathered rocks and fractures, the percolation of water to the groundwater will be more, and also the water has to flow even after construction of the bund. The aquifer which is to be recharged should have sufficient thickness and permeable voids to recharge. So aquifer, it should have more amount of area or more storage capacity. The downstream of recharge area should have sufficient number of wells and cultivated area to get benefit from augmentation of groundwater. So as the groundwater increases, if in the downstream side if there are any wells and crops, even they can be benefited more. The percolation tank is similar to check dams or nalas with large storage reservoir. The construction material is mixture of soil, silt, clay, sand, gravel, which are suitably mixed and are made into layers to get perfect stability and water tightness. These are popular in Maharashtra, AP, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. So as you can see over here, this is nothing but a diagram of a dam itself. It is an earthen dam and the spillway whichever is over here, it will be mainly designed. That is, the spillway is concentrated over here. So this is the freeboard the water whichever is collected or whichever is blocked, it will be percolated into the aquifers which are behind them. Okay, the water will be collected in the aquifers. So coming to the last topic of the module, rainwater harvesting. So rainwater harvesting is a type of harvest in which raindrops are collected and stored for future use rather than allowing them for the runoff. Rainwater can be collected from rivers or roofs and redirecting into deep pit, well, shaft or borehole, aquifer, a reservoir with percolation or collected from dew or fog with nets and other tools. So it is nothing but collection of the rainfall and harvesting them. Its uses include water for gardens, livestock, irrigation, domestic use with proper treatment, indoor heating for houses. The harvested water can also be used as drinking water, longer term storage, and for other purposes such as groundwater recharge. Rainwater harvesting is one of the simplest and oldest methods and self supply of water for households, usually financed by the user. So the initial cost will be usually high for rainwater harvesting. It is a good option where the quality of surface water is good and has less groundwater. If a area has less groundwater and if the surface water quality is good, rainwater harvesting can be done easily. So methods of rainwater harvesting. So they are mainly classified as surface runoff harvesting. In urban areas, rainwater flows as surface runoff. This runoff can be collected and used for recharging aquifers by adopting appropriate methods. So surface runoff will be directly collected as the water and it will be stored. Rooftop harvesting. Here the roof itself becomes the catchment area and the rainwater is collected from the rooftops of building. So it can be either stored in a tank or diverted into artificial recharge system. This method is less expensive and very effective if implemented properly, which in turn will help the groundwater level of the area, that is the rooftop harvesting. So components of modern rainwater harvesting. First one is rooftop catchment, that is the point where the water is collected. Gutters, that is the water it has to float into the storage area. Downpipe, this is the downpipe. First flush pipe, next the filler unit, next the storage tank and the collection pit. So as you can see in this picture, the first one is the main water supply, that is 1. 2 is the rainwater pump. Third one is the rainwater conduit. Fourth one is the claimed inlet. Fifth one is the rainwater filler. Sixth one is the suction line. Seventh one is rainwater storage tank. Eighth one is the overflow to public sewer. Ninth one is the floating intake. 10th one is the floating switch. So as you can see, the water will be collected in the roof. The water will be collected in the roof and it will be directed into the storage tank, and this will be in turn used again for the use of people or for the domestic use. So rainwater harvesting, what are the advantages? It is suitable for irrigation, reduces demand for groundwater, reduce flood and soil erosion, reduce water bills, used for non-drinking purpose. So there are some disadvantages also. They are unpredictable rainfall. So if the rainfall is low, it will be difficult for the rainwater harvesting. Initial high cost. The cost is high at the beginning because of all those structures that we have to build. Storage limit. So we can store a limited amount of water. If the rainfall is very high, even though there is so much of rainfall, if the storage of water is limited, we can store only less amount of water, or there is a limit for the storage. Rooftop may have chemicals. So sometimes what happens is rooftops will have certain chemicals which can be in storage tanks, so that we can also consume, we might also consume chemicals from the water, so that has to be very careful. The rooftop should be very clean and it has to have regular maintenance, so we have to maintain it regularly. Okay, so this was the end of the module. So very easy module, very general module. So this was the water harvesting and conservation. So in the first model we had seen the hydrological cycle and how it will be varied from time to time. Second unit we had seen what are the various ways, that is top down